I met Don 19 years ago at the coffee shop. I had just moved here from Austin, and I was living out on the ranch. And I'd come into town, and one of the first places I went was the coffee shop. And I noticed these huge paintings, and they were, at first I thought, oh, these are kind of childlike. And the more I looked at them, the more I thought, no, these are pretty sophisticated. And I asked the barista, Xenia, about the art, and she said, well, it's this, I forget if he was in his 70s.
Yeah.
It's this artist that comes in here every day about 1 o'clock, and so I thought, well, I'd like to meet this guy. So I went in the next day, and sure enough, there he was. I mean, he's easy to spot. He was covered in paint, jeans, shirt, you know. And so I introduced myself and said, yeah, I'm an artist. And he said, what, do you have a death wish? And I love that guy instantly.
Very good. Lucas and Don saw each other almost every single day of the last 2 years of Don's life. There were very few days missed. It was truly a love affair that goes on.
Go. Stable.
Hi, I'm Ruth Roberts. This is my partner, the wonderful artist Don Snell. We live just outside of Georgetown, Texas, which is about 30 miles north of Austin. We moved here from Houston in 1981. We built our own home. We built a couple of studios for Don to work in, and he has produced an enormous quantity of work since then, and we hope you're going to enjoy looking at some of it. Open your mouth, close your mouth, and make noise.
I'm here under protest.
I try to get Don to talk to me about the paintings so that when I talk about them to other people, I've got an idea of how he sees things. Don, why don't you read what you've written on this one and elaborate?
For one thing, what I have written on the painting doesn't have anything to do with the painting. They're two separate items. Society should be in the service of man.
Love, here's one you painted in 1987. You think it still holds up?
It's pretty contemporary. I don't know what the event was, if there was in fact an event. I've always felt that the government was less than truthful about most everything.
I think I've heard you express it more strongly than that. What's the
So,
first job of government?
Is to lie to the people.
Anything you want to say about this one that you haven't already said?
This is the way I feel about the society that we live in, and paintings like this are not readily acceptable, so they end up on the table. But in our society, there is no justification for poverty, but there seems to be the need to have wars and to kill people and then live with the poverty that we create. Well, it says because the world is not going anywhere, there's no hurry. I think what it does is says that it tends to repeat itself, and because it does, there's no hurry. That's about it.
I wonder what it says in Chinese or Japanese. I
Same
don't
thing.
know.
Same thing.
Okay.
I looked it up in the dictionary.
Ah, we have one of those, huh? In that case, you don't need an amanuensis.
No, I don't. The camera could see this, and then I'll read it. The mankind is just a piece of cosmic shit that's stuck to the planet. What other justification can there be for the way we treat the earth? I don't know where to start. There are probably a couple of hundred paintings here that will never be stretched. Okay. The meaning of life is whatever you want to give it. All right. It is a lie. Life is not sacred. Otherwise, we would not kill each other at such an alarming rate. A government that has to operate with secrets has to lie to its people. I usually deal in truths. Okay, if you do good, people will accuse you of selfish motives. Do good anyway. This is a nice size. This was done in '86. A democracy cannot flourish half rich and half poor any more than it can flourish half free and half slave.
An artist makes a statement. It was never my intention to be an artist, but I read Lust for Life. The idea of drawing naked females was of great interest to me. Besides, I had no marketable skills, so I took the vow of poverty and became an artist. Having said that, I must note that my first life career choice was acting. My problem was that I didn't work well with people. I solved one problem with my camera. Females would, without hesitation, pose nude. I played to their vanity. So far, my career has been uneventful, but when you consider I am at 82 and still producing great works of art, things have not been all that bad. Bad reading. hesitation. I think that the idea is that you should make each day complete, just in case something happens unpredictable and you're dead. So if you have everything wrapped up, so to speak, you don't have any regrets. That's why, yeah, it's a pretty zen kind of an idea.
Do you live that way? Do you live each day like that?
He can really
No.
hear you, Daniel.
But it's a nice thought.
It's a good thought, that's right. I have misgivings about a lot of ideas and the way I conduct my life. So having what would be trying to think of a word, to have a completion each day, very difficult, very, very difficult.
Were there ever any times that you came close to dying?
Oh yes, yes, yes. In one episode, I bought some really cheap sleeping pills and tried to kill myself. Fortunately, they were inferior because they were on sale, and I ended up in an emergency situation. Ultimately, that weekend, I ended up in the Veterans Hospital. The psychiatrist came on Monday morning, and I told him what had happened to me, or what I did to myself, and evidently he took everything to be reasonable and told me I was dismissed. So I just had no reason to go back. I felt when I left that I had answered the problem that I was having.
What did you learn from that experience?
Certainly not try to kill yourself with cheap drugs.
Why did you try it in the first place?
Come in here and sit down with me and talk in my ear and tell me what to say.
All right,
It
you
seems
two.
to me that when somebody says he tried to kill himself, it might be interesting to tell the viewers what that was all about.
Ruth,
It's part of your story, Don.
just close the door, Ruth.
No, it is
That's
too
hot.
warm in here.
You said at one point that that was a turning point for you.
Well, there was the day before my then wife showed up at the dormitory where I was bedded down, and I saw her at the end of the hallway, stopped and turned around and rejected her. And that was my what would you call it? She had rejected me, so it was my opportunity to reject her, and that, in a way, that closed the case. And yeah.
Did that have any significant effect on your art?
No.
Did your art before that time, before you tried killing yourself, did it change afterwards?
No. I have a capacity to close out the existing exterior, whatever, and my art really is a function of my imagination. It's internalized, also very well, most of the time, no, all the time, I start a painting without having too much of an idea of how it should look. I let the painting paint itself. That isn't necessarily true. There's intervention, of course, but for the most part, I let the painting talk to me. It's sort of like reading clouds. The clouds keep changing and your imagery evolves. Well, in a painting situation, I let the imagery talk to me, and then it's a conversation, and then I see something in it that would pictorially make a visual experience. So my paintings are, now, if I'm painting larger than 4 to 6 feet, for instance, I try to have a design in mind, because that's a lot of space to cover, that you need some kind of roadmap, okay? So I'll have some figures that I would like to introduce, and then let the painting start to talk to me, and that makes it more interesting to me, so I don't get bored. Otherwise, if you have too detailed a sketch, it's a problem of just boredom. Okay?
That's beautiful. That was good.
Cat hair.
Yeah, what was it? Robert Frost, when he talked about poems, he said a poem should ride on its own melting.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah, that it should kind of form itself, and that it should be forced, into a form.
Painting is the same way. It should talk to you, and it will be more interesting both to you as the creator and to your audience.
Do you ever think about your audience?
Yes, not as much as most. My feeling is I want to create something that would look interesting, interesting to people if it's hanging on the wall in their home, it would, every time they look at it, they would be engaged. But a painting should re-energize the audience, the viewer, each day that you look at it. And that makes art
Eternal.
valuable.
Yeah.
That's good.
I'm going to propose that he have a chance to read these things through. He hasn't seen these in how many years?
But they're cracking them up.
Oh, that will never stop. He is his own best audience, for the poetry. He has more fun reading it than you do listening.
Oh, yeah, these are funny stuff. Should I read my IBS poem? Because IBS. The population of Lubbock came down with irritable bowel syndrome. People were noticeably clenching their teeth, walking funny, and not straying too far from toilets. Hospitals were full to overflowing with people suffering from IBS. Toilet paper was being airlifted in. Sounds like New Orleans. The mayor a student of Rami poetry was asking citizens to tighten their belts, so to speak, when he was suddenly brought to his knees by cramps and had to be hospitalized. People were collapsing in the street. The elderly were begging for diapers. Some would just shit wherever they were. The parks were full of shit. The sewers were backing up into the streets. The city's solid waste management team was seen discreetly dressed in Halloween costumes, boarding buses to LA. The city council, in an act of desperation, brought in huge fans to blow the shit away. The effort failed and blocked the sun as far away as Waco. The city was knee-deep in shit. The CDC called it the worst crisis in the history of man.
Let me see something for a minute. I was just looking at turn that. I was seeing that one from an angle. They look so different in color than they do in black and white, but they ought to read. They ought to read either way if they're good, right? Right?
Go sit down, Luke.
Hey, part of your reality is the two people live in this house.
I got half a poem to continue.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought it was over. I apologize. Well, you better start it all over again then.
Sit down.
I honestly thought you were finished with that one. Sorry, Don. That's the way it goes.
To the moon, Alice. To the moon.
Ain't no Alice here.
Newsweek carried the story. The cover showed a pile of shit. The president flew over Lubbock and was quoted as saying he had never seen so much shit in his entire political career. The Boy Scouts refused to help, saying they were not trained to deal with this kind of shit. The situation was saved when an El Nino-inspired rainstorm stalled out over Lubbock and flushed the city clean. The New York Times ran a front page retrospective. Shit happens.
Predates the Twin Tower.
falling over. Other than that, I don't know what's going on. It's a big city street scene. What can you say? She's got her hand in his mouth, and this one is throwing up over her. Unintentionally, of course. Let's go on.
Is that new?
There's the written message. Are you getting a lot of glare off of that? No? Wow. Hit that vent with a stick and get some air. There. Well, let's go on here. And now this painting has a title. Are you interested?
Why, yes.
This is titled, I Apologize, Now Can We Fuck?
Next.
This is, you don't want to, now, these are shaman cave paintings from West Texas, and I use symbols that
Is there a fucking secret to teaching cats? Hey, Don, look here.
what?
Look here.
No, you do that to airline pilots. Okay.
So, have you ever seen a cat with their first attempt? 'Cause so far, 2 of ours have just looked at it. And then they look at me doing it. And they're not, but I give them a great big twist tie, and that is the best toy ever.
Just real simple. Simple means.
Okay.
This damn thing costs $9.
And now that she's gone, are we still recording? Okay, as long as that message is here. Here's another cave painting, or yeah. That was not part of the cave painting. And we have
So Don, it looks like there's 3 different paintings on one piece of canvas.
Yeah,
How do you do this?
I'm not sure, but I think I'm going to frame all 3 on the same stretcher and charge 4 times more.
Not 3 times.
No, 4. Now, here we are. Huh, never noticed that. Okay, there are some more interesting. This is taken from a painting, probably 1890, French. I added that one, that. The title of this is It Was Never to Happen This Way. Was that it? It was never meant to happen this way. Now this one has a lot going on. The emphasis is right there, and I am not guilty is a statement of the male's position in society. We are made to feel guilty over our sexuality. We're still dealing with it all, even in the modern times. The males can't get over the fact that it's their sworn DNA to impregnate things. And our society wants to thwart this DNA need, and it makes for some strange behavior, like adult bookstores and that sort of thing. You very seldom ever see females in these adult bookstores. But you see a range of males that are trying to cope with their sexuality. So this guy is obviously offering an inducement for sex. Now she's encouraging it because she has her hand around his throat, and the figure on the right is a politician, and showing his skill.
I think that's about the best I can say. Okay? Again, I don't know what's going on. It's obviously a cityscape with a winged dog-like creature putting his foot up between the legs of this woman. Right on. Okay. And another cityscape, sort of. This is my homage to Bosch, who was probably one of the greatest painters ever, and he did paintings in 1550 that still look good today. Have you ever seen them?
Yeah.
Prado has
Madrid.
most of his paintings. Yeah. Now this is a to support the theory, the Big Bang Theory. This is where everything goes bang. Okay. Bang. I love this one. Oh, I'm going to put this one into the Art Guild show. Is there a dimension? It's 3 before. Yeah, but I'm going to put it in. I just love the drawing in this thing. Yeah. I'm going to put this one in. Now, when I do these, I always have a peeping Tom. You know, somebody looking in at what is going on, and they may be related, and then again they may not. I'm not sure. But the mother is ugly, and it's about the best you can say for her. This is a copied the theme of the American painter that did what was the name of the female that he did that was inching up to the house that was on the hill? Oh, Christina, something like Christina. Anyway, this is Christina inching her way to the Tower of Babel. That's me. These paintings are from Francis Bacon's paintings. I never got the um, the spatial thing that he got. He had such a marvelous way of taking a figure and dissolving it all at the same time. And this was inspired by, but never got close. That's me in the big city, not confused, lost, and looking helpless. This is, again, this is a good painting. Now, oh yeah, here's another. Yeah. Got sort of bacon-esque here. This painting started a series of painting, of which Lucas has about 6 of them at his place. Have you seen them? Mm-hmm. He's got to show them to you. It's got a Van Gogh kind of sky, and I'm not really sure what this figure is doing, except that he is pointing out this bird, which might be delivering a message. But Lucas, see this? Can you get in close on that? These faces in here, I think it's a case of I started an overpopulation series, and just love these faces. I'm going to write some longer titles to things where people have to get involved in the writing as your writing is. But we need to get, maybe we could get you to do some writing for titles.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Would you do that?
Oh, of course I would.
All right.
Yeah.
Because
I'd be honored.
Yeah, that would be it.
That would be cool.
All right. Yeah.
All right.
You pick them out and then write something, and
yeah, but
that's it. That's,
it is. But,
yeah.
Yeah, but it's you're gonna have to talk to me about what you were thinking though when you painted
No,
it.
I don't. That's the whole point.
Alright.
I don't want that because.
Because I'm bringing my whole truckload of
Absolutely.
experiences and crap to it.
Absolutely. That will. Oh yeah, that just occurred to me. Shit, that would make it.
That would be cool.
That would be even better.
Because then we can experiment. Because
Yeah.
I got the writing down and you got
Yeah.
the painting down, and then
Yeah, put the two together.
there you go.
Yes.
Oh,
that would be fucking awesome. I was. You have all of the information, experience to draw on to last forever, for Christ's sakes. To last forever. And so you just bring that to your canvas. But you got to get something going before, so that your imagination or your experience, your life tape can look at it and do something to it. Yeah, same thing I'm going to do with that. So all you're doing is bringing your life experiences, bang, and the energy flows through you. You're a conduit. You're a conduit. How do you, when you write, you're drawing on everything that you know. And you become a conduit for your poetry.
Right.
And that's the creative part. That is where you want to be all the time. Seriously.
And that, yeah, what he just,
Okay, let's go to the gallery. Oh shit, I'm sweating. This is,
yeah, it's hot in here. Let's,
I want to talk about this painting and point out the symbolism of this light hanging from a single cord. This is probably a very sexual symbol.
Anybody? I need names for these two for the website.
Let's give it a number, Ruth.
No. People like to refer to names.
Yeah.
I'm putting that one on also.
yeah, that's cool. I don't know. Too much pressure.
Well, this one I can name, but this one,
Yeah, what's he doing, Don?
Hmm?
What's he doing?
is it a prayerful gesture? Is he, male touching chest?
Looks like a businessman. What's going on with his fingers?
Is he
Hands like this.
touching his chest?
I don't know.
Um,
I leave that up to the audience.
Don, people like to refer to things by names. It helps them.
Call it, I don't know. I had no idea. That'll come to me.
Thank you all.
We invented God to sanctify our need to kill. That's a true statement. Normally when I write on a painting, it doesn't necessarily have anything to do with what's going on in a painting. And this says, we are in trouble when the symbol becomes more important than the things it represents. And that is true. Salute the flag. And I can't begin to explain what's going on. What you need to do is to hang something like this in a public space and then have a paper and pencil available so people can tell me what's going on. Yeah, because I don't know. Your guess would be as good as mine. This doesn't make any sense. Oh, okay. I think, yeah. Okay. It says there is scientific truth and there's moral truth. Hey, could buy that. No big deal. But it's a decent painting. It just needs to be flattened out.
There's this one that's very similar, I guess.
There's another one just, well, all done at the same time. Yeah. Well, I've done this one twice, evidently, but, and I obviously did them at the same time, and it says, death is not the problem, it's the dying. Good figure, good figure. So is the other one. Yeah.
What's the solid and empty?
Huh?
What's solid and empty at the top?
Yeah, just solid, empty, big life. You know what we need to do?
What's that?
Is go back in the house and turn on the AC.
Yeah, let it cool off a little bit.
Okay.
Tell me that story of the war again. How did it start? Where were you, first of all?
I was in England.
What year was it?
Which one were we talking about?
The one where you skipped out and went to
Oh,
London
that-
and they had to
okay,
come
yeah,
after you?
Yeah. I was, I went over the hill and I came back and they court-martialed me.
What does over the hill mean?
Hmm?
What does over the hill mean?
AWL, without leave,
Oh.
over the hill. So the captain court-martialed me and
Where'd you go?
confined me to 30 days without leave. I took umbrage to this, and before I could really do anything about it, I was placed on guard duty because we had something like 100 German POWs, okay? The youngest of which was 12 years old. I asked, oh, well, let me think now, the sequence of this thing. Okay, after they put me on guard duty, I went to the sergeant of the guards and I told him that I couldn't answer a roll call because of the roll call that was held every morning at my company. And I went to the other sergeant and I told him I couldn't answer roll call because I needed to answer to the guard sergeant. So neither one of them had me down as being absent. So I took advantage of this and went to London.
Why'd you go to London?
Oh, it's the only place to go. I mean, so when I get to London, I have some escape kits that the pilots and gunners used in flying over Germany. So these space
Escape kits.
escape kits had in them morphine, chocolate, usually American money, and they were obviously valuable on the market, and I had a friend that was in the trade, so to speak, and I would sell them to her and pay my way. Well, before this, I had been with her, and she said, open up the drawer of the dresser, and I did, and she must have had 50 dog tags in there that she had collected. So she said, take a couple. So I take two, put them in my pocket, never think any more about it. This time though, when I went over the hill, I'm in London, and I'm picked up by the MPs in about 30 minutes. I mean, it was fast. Well, no, it wasn't that fast, because I'd gone to the Red Cross and deposited my little overnight baggie, and then they picked me up. But what happened was that I had been working in the orderly room, and I managed to get maybe 10 or 12 passes, and I just put them in my billfold, and I wrote myself a pass, of course. But when I pulled out the pass that I had made, out came the tip in of these other passes. Well, the MP grabbed my billfold, and of course, that landed me in jail. So, very complicated story. I'm in jail, and because I had been court-martialed and confined to the base, neither one of the sergeants knew where I was. So the MPs called my unit that I gave them, and they said, well, he's here, he's on, duty. And so the MPs found these other two dog tags with different names on them. And they kept trying to surprise me. They'd come up behind me, they didn't know who it was, so, and they would say a name, or they would say my name, and So anyway, they weren't convinced that I was who I was. So finally the word gets back to my outfit, and they couldn't give him a straight answer because the captain was in High Wycombe, where the company was stationed. This was extra duty. Anyway, so they send a guy down to pick me up, and he was a middle-aged guy, not a youth, and he signed for me, and his orders were that I was to come directly back, no bar hopping or whatever. This guy was well, he felt authoritarian at this point. Anyway, so we get on the train, they take me back, and of course I couldn't pick up this bag with this escape kits in it. And so it's sitting in a Red Cross, and I don't know time limit on anything. So anyway, when I get back, they were confused because they had just court-martialed me. This is a summary court-martial, not real serious. One, the captain says 30 days, and that's it. So they didn't know exactly what what the protocol was on somebody escaping. uh, so they had to talk about it. In the meantime, I asked what the most important job, it was a supply depot, that needed to be done. So the captain told me that the clothing and equipment warehouse needed to be re-warehoused. This thing now is a block long, 30 feet to the ceiling, racks all over the place. Can't believe the clutter. So I got 10 German prisoners and I went to work, and it took me 8 days to re-warehouse the entire thing. Everybody was so delighted that I had done such a good job, they forgot about punishing me again. And then the war ended, and I was one of the first to come back because I had been there 3 years, and 36 months got you privileges and returning back.
Yeah, I thought you might be out there, so I went in there. You weren't. I turned off the lights
Oh,
because it'll get
you left.
cooler faster
Oh,
with the
okay.
lights turned off.
All right. But the air conditioner's on.
Oh no, I turned that off too.
Well, thank you. My mind is gone. That color is, and I can't find what I need to do. Is to take out all of these tubes and see if I'm losing my mind. Oh, wait a minute. That's it. Oh, this says Terra Vert. That isn't it. But it's close. Yeah. It's real close. Well. Shit, I've had that for 25 years. God. That's a good yellow. Look at that. I'll be damned. Okay, I'll use that on the sun. But okay. Yeah, yeah. I need some artist names that are just 3 letters long. uh,
Hey, how are you doing? How's it going? Ooh. Yeah, they're starting to pop out more now.
yeah,
Have you done anything to them?
yeah, I'm going to paint some more on there. Yeah,
Turn the light back on.
it's a good 60%. No, there, top.
Yeah, that turned out really, really nice.
Yeah, finally got that. And it's, I gotta paint grass
Mm-hmm.
in the green, and that's gonna take a couple of days. Just
Is this gonna be a person or a figure?
it almost looks like one, doesn't it?
Yeah, somebody's
I sort of
sneaking
thought
it.
about just actually leaving it like that almost.
Yeah.
Ah,
Looks like someone kneeling and
yeah,
praying almost.
it looks like it's running
Yeah.
or what, or
Yeah. Oh, that's good. This is a good one.
yeah, I got some
That's a cool face.
work to do on. It's Clint?
Klint?
That's what I got here.
Oh.
That's wrong?
Well, I was thinking of Klimt, but you're not thinking of Klimt.
Yeah.
Klimt with who did The Kiss and all that stuff?
Wait a minute. Oh. Go to the Bible.
Upside down. But you said he was from the 1980s.
1980s?
Yeah.
No.
No, he
I don't
was.
think so.
That guy, Klimt.
Here,
This guy, Klimt, right?
this 140, 142.
Klimt. Gustav Klimt?
Yeah,
Yeah. Klimt.
that's what I got. What have I got there?
Klint. It's an M.
It's, yeah. Okay, where?
You see that? On the left side?
Yeah, I know that. Where is it?
There?
Oh, yeah, okay. All right. Yes. Oh, God.
Yeah, his stuff's great.
Oh, boy. I hate myself when I get so interested in doing something else and I forget what I'm doing. No. Where's the... What did I do with it? Now, They'll come back to haunt you. You didn't spell my name right. No shit. Yeah. I'm getting sick of it. All right.
Who's that? D-A-U?
Dolly.
Oh, ooh.
Yeah.
Yeah. Gotta change that.
Yeah. I thought I was through.
And the R there hardly shows. That's funny, when my hand gets near it, it shows, but that's okay, so that's reflection. All right, so Bosch,
Yeah.
S-C-H. Want me to write them down?
No. C-H.
B-O-S-C-H and Da Vinci with a D-A. Oh wow, that's incredible. You've gotten pretty good at manipulating that stuff. Oh, you can probably work that. And B-O-S-C-H. What was the spray you put on there before?
It's mastic.
To hold the gold down?
Yeah.
Are there any others?
Don't think so.
Hey, you know, I was looking at your tombstone up here with the question mark on it, and I think it would be actually stronger without the question mark if you just left it blank, the plain black, because that would still ask the question, who will go there next? See, I really do love this painting because it's kept you occupied for a long time. Okay, I'm going to go send that announcement out.
Okay, we've made I think we've made all of the corrections.
Da Vinci.
See, well, some of these oh, I gotta put an A. Yes, he wouldn't like that at all. Being a perfectionist. D-A. I got it a little close to Da Vinci, but we'll just have to live with it. Paintings that I'm painting
You're
over.
going back.
Yeah, and they're all right, but I need to do some magic so that I won't be embarrassed if they're exhibited. See that?
So what do you think about this filming project? Are you enjoying it or you like it?
Well, it needs to have more people in it that are interesting.
Besides you.
I've run out.
Yeah.
So I need people like yourself, you see, that are interesting, gorgeous.
Do you enjoy doing this?
Hmm?
Do you enjoy it?
Yes. I enjoy, what I really enjoy is having some of my work on film and seeing it. Well, we haven't done that yet. We haven't got to that point of having it blown up big on a screen, because some of this texture is so gorgeous that I just know I'm going to be awed by seeing this. Lucas will do some of that. Right, Lucas?
Don, is there anything you thought about doing besides painting? If you hadn't started painting, what else do you think? You
Well,
would have
I
done?
would have been involved in the theater some way.
Were you acting? Where was this?
Oh, University of Houston, Austin.
Okay.
I was in the drama theater there. I was also in theater in England. I was in the special services, and I was doing shows for the service, and we would travel around in the evenings to perform these shows, but
For different units?
yeah,
Yeah.
and it was a good experience, but it wasn't fulfilling in the sense that you could see a future. I did gain a lot of experience, obviously, but and the I might add, the last show I was in, the UK, United Kingdom, Ireland and Scotland, these commands ran a competition. Now the competition was the best show, the winner of which was to be on duty 6 months in London performing for the GIs that were there on leave. Well, there was about 3 months of competition within your area. Then the winners of each area put on a show at a place called High Wycombe, and it was about 25 miles from London. Do you know who Jimmy Doolittle? Well, Jimmy Doolittle flew his B-25 over Japan. The first raid on Japan was Jimmy Doolittle's outfit, about 10 or 12 B-25s, and they bombed Japan, which was a big boost to the morale of the United States. Well, he became the head of the 8th Air Force in England. So this High Wycombe was the 8th Air Force headquarters, where Jimmy Doolittle had his staff. He and his staff, and I don't know how many others, were involved in selecting the winner that would go to London and do their thing for the troops. Well, we won, okay? And we just knew that everything was going to be perfect from now on, because we'd be doing our theater in London for the troops, and we would get publicity and everything else that goes with, winning. So we pack up, we had 2 big trucks, and we packed up everything, went off to London, got a bed and a Red Cross, because the Stars and Stripes now was the daily newspaper that the armed services put out. And so we just knew when we got up the next morning, we would read the paper, and there we would be winners.
Yeah.
Guess what? It's D-Day.
Oh,
Nothing.
you got trumped.
Trumped.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
we got trumped.
Huh.
Couldn't believe it. Everybody forgot about it. Nothing happened.
Did you do any shows?
No.
Nothing.
Everything stopped. I mean, it was like,
Well,
yeah, I'm still speechless. I mean, we worked so hard for this thing, and it was D-Day. They could have put it off a day,
you think?
something.
Too bad.
Oh well.
Well, can I ask you a personal question?
All right.
What about Ruth? Too much? Don? Why is that funny?
It's not funny.
Y'all get a lot of this? Is this the documentary material?
Oh, what about Ruth? Ruth keeps the wheels greased and running.
Yeah.
Ruth is a controller. She controls the flow of money. You can't believe how much paperwork goes on for something as small as what we do, and yet I'm surprised at how much has to be documented for whatever reasons. I don't know. I try to keep out of that, but Ruth maintains a stability that is necessary in my life, and
So you can think about
yeah,
your work.
I'm free to do this, that's real important, because if you get sidetracked and having to make films, that sort of thing.
Very distracting.
Very
Yeah,
distracting.
I'm sure it is.
Yeah, I didn't want to say anything. Okay.
So how long have y'all been together?
35 years.
What keeps it going? That's a long time.
Well, for years and years and years, sex. Other than that, it was, we bought the property. We had that as an investment. My mother left us a chunk of money, and she needed to invest, take care of that. Otherwise, I guess everybody needs somebody to look out after them. I think that's a good solution to any relationship. No, this is we need to care for each other. That's all there is to it. And I think marriage is a one of these ways, but at my age, I have a feeling that I may have another 5 years, and then Ruth is going to have to find somebody else, because man, there's a lot of paintings here. It's going to have to be accounted for, and so she's going to need help.
Did y'all ever think about y'all are not married, right?
Oh, no, we're married.
Oh, you are.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's it.
Okay.
When we got married, I gave her all my money, and that worked out.
Don, you never told me, in all the time that I've known you, you never told me that you went through the war playing the role of a female in these productions. Now,
Well, that was a brief time. Now I did more than that,
uh-huh.
but that one was the scripts from the old Howard, and they were classical scripts that the old Howard presented, and I feel privileged to have been a part of the tradition.
But I mean, think about the big picture. I mean, you're in the Army, and what do?
You're fighting a war and they dress you up like a woman? Think somehow that would be good for the war? Help us win?
Well, you guys sound like reporters asking stupid questions.
Really does sound like stupid questions.
Well, that's our job, Don.
Tell us what you did in the war, Daddy.
You guys.
Put you in jail for
That's
85
that'll be a
days,
good clip.
too.
Show the credits at the end.
You ever tell them the story of restocking the warehouse?
Yes, we've heard that like 10 times.
Oh, okay.
Did I tell that?
Apparently
When
so.
you went AWOL?
Yeah, okay, yeah. Yeah.
Sorry. Wish I could remember some of those stories I've just heard for the first time.
Well, tell him tell Lucas the joke that you remember from the performance. So tell about the scene. You're a nurse,
Oh,
right?
that was where I was going. It was as you asked, a scene in a nurse, and the patient is lying in the bed, and all of a sudden he raises his knee up, and the nurse goes over and flicks his knee with her finger, and she says, "If that isn't your knee, I'll marry you." Of course, everybody thought that was very funny. That's burlesque. It died out, by the way.
So, do you remember any other bits that you did?
Oh, one scene about a restaurant, a couple sitting at a table and a waiter, and the man orders a tongue sandwich, and the waiter says, "We don't serve anything that comes out of a cow's mouth, something to that effect. And then he recommends that the man eat an egg.
Oh, you're making me cry.
This will be interesting.
Oh, you missed the funniest story earlier.
I didn't hear it either. I heard you all
He laughed to
breaking
the
up.
point where he was crying.
Tell us,
Yeah.
you remember the
Really
two
good.
things that you remember from your performing days? Remember that
Oh
story?
yeah, the second one.
Yeah.
Well, you gotta think about it. Just, I was a female sitting with a male, and we were in a restaurant. There was a waiter, and the waiter asked the man what he wanted, and he said he wanted a tongue sandwich. And the waiter said, "We don't serve anything that comes out of a cow's mouth." And he said, "Then would you like an egg?"
Was this a play? These were
Yeah,
lines
this-
from the
this
play,
is-
right? This burlesque.
This was a burlesque.
This
how-
is right.
How would
Yeah.
you like an omelet, sir?
So sometimes it's funnier than others. Call it, is Don Snell really dead, or is this a hoax, or the silent fart?
Bah!